Hello, I'm James Caldwell. Welcome to Adventures in Bass, Video 1. Introduction, right hand technique, and open strings is what we will cover today. Hey, I got a new bass. It's a Fender Player Series precision bass in tide pull. It's left-handed like me. Although I've played guitar for many years, and you would think that gives me an advantage to learning bass, I'm going back to square one. I want to learn the basics, the fundamentals. So I am working from the Hal Leonard Bass Method, Complete Edition. It's 3 volumes in 1 by Ed Friedland. This is the best-selling bass method book on the planet. So although I've played guitar for many years, I don't want to play this like a guitar player. Although that would be fun, I want to learn proper technique. And more than just technique, I want to learn how bass is applied to music, what makes a good bass line, and how bass players approach music. Now, before we get started, I've got to put my glove on, and let me explain that. I play a lot of classical guitar, which is important to me. And my fingernails are very important to me, as they are to most classical guitarists. Bass players do not use nails, and I discovered that if I use my musician's glove, it protects my nails. More than that, I've taken a rubber glove and I've cut some fingertips off them. And I just slip these over my index finger and my middle finger, because those are the fingers we will be using at first while playing bass. And that gives an extra layer over my nail. Then I use my musician's glove, the guitar glove. And actually, I wanted to get a bass for a long time, but I hesitated because I was a little bit concerned about how it would affect my hand, my nails. I didn't want anything to be detrimental to my classical playing. And when I figured out that this glove, with the little extra protection from the rubber fingertips in there, works just fine and doesn't hurt my nails at all, I decided to go for it. And I don't feel bad about wearing this. This is the Musician's Live Guitar Glove, and I've got a link in the description below if you're interested in getting one. So working from the book, I'm on the page titled Right Hand Technique. And what we're doing here is we're going to use the index and middle fingers. Shorthand for that is I and M, index and middle. And we're going to play on each string a few times. To begin on the E string, it is suggested you take your thumb and rest it on the end of the pickup. And then you alternate your fingers on the E string with your hand like that. We can move over to the A string and keep the thumb on the pickup. When we move over to the D string, the thumb will advance to the E string. And when we move to the G string, the thumb will advance to the A string, and you'll lean it back against the E string to keep it muted. So try to keep that in mind as I play these introductory exercises. On the next page, it mentions a little bit about pick style. Yes, I thought about playing with a pick because then I wouldn't have to worry about my right hand nails at all. But the style that I want to hear and the way I want to apply the bass is the way the fingerstyle bassists do it. So I'm going to skip the pick for now. Okay, next in the book, there are some open string exercises, and I need to mention that everything in this book is on bass clef. There's no tab. As a classical guitarist, I've learned to read treble clef very well. So bass clef is new to me, and I was a little concerned that it was going to be very confusing, but I've been working at it for a couple of weeks, and so far so good. So to begin, there's exercises for the E string, the A string, the D string, and the G string. They are using a mix of quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes. That's exercises 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm just going to skip over those right now, but when you're doing them, remember, if you're on the E string, thumb is on the pickup. If you're on the A string, thumb is on the pickup. If you're on the D string, thumb is on the E string. And if you're on the G string, thumb is on the A string leaning back against the E string. Keep that in mind as you work through those. I'm going to skip ahead to exercises 5 and 6 because these two exercises combine all 4 strings. My metronome is set to 84. I'll just leave it there. And exercise 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very simple, just advancing across the strings, playing each string 4 times, positioning the hand, moving the thumb to its proper location. Exercise 6 mixes it up a little bit with some half notes and starting on the I finger, but when we first move to the A string, we'll be using the M finger. Here is exercise 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they introduce a technique called the rake, and this is new to me. In classical guitar, I have trained my hand and practiced to alternate exclusively. Whether I'm advancing across the strings or retreating back, I'm always alternating, never repeating a finger. However, the bass technique would have us alternate as we advance across the strings, but when we retreat, we alternate on the string we're playing on, but when we move to the next lower string, we rake, meaning the last finger that played will just be dragged down across the next string. And so this concept's a little new to me. The idea here is that it helps you to keep your hand in position for the string it's going to be playing on. So you just drag the finger and use it twice. Exercise 7 begins on the G string, and we're going to work our way down to the E string. And every time we cross strings, we're going to use the same finger twice to begin on the next string. Exercise 8 is a similar idea. However, I'm looking at it, and every time we cross the string, it's the M finger that's going to be raked. 1, 2, 3, 4. I should also mention that on these exercises where we're descending the strings, I'm using this hand to mute the open strings that we just played. G, D, A, E. I just slowly close my fingers over the open strings to keep them from ringing. Yeah, let's try exercise 9. It begins with the M finger on the E string, and we advance up, and then we retreat back using the rake technique. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's it for this first video. In the next one, I'll get into the notes on the E string. The book does come with online audio access. In this first section, there are no audio tracks to play with, but as soon as we get into playing on the E string, there's a couple. And I have them on my MP3 player, which I'll plug into the back of the amp. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll join me again for more adventures in bass. I've been James Caldwell.